and replace the PWM controller that we got with the solar panel.
Oh, there's a snake in the middle of the crossing.
The other day it got really bad. Chelsea did a carrot cake, washed way too much stuff down the drain. See you in 6 hours.
Hey, we've come out for a drive to Byfield National Park today. A couple of videos ago we did do a little bit in Byfield, and that's where we nearly got stuck out in the dunes in the national park. So we're definitely not doing that again today. We're gonna look at more of the town and stay on the bitumen, I think, because I'm not really prepared for any sand dunes or anything hectic. We are at a pottery at the moment, aren't we? It's meant to be a gallery, and I'm not really sure what else.
Yeah, don't know. We've heard really good things about it, so got high expectations now.
Right, here we go. Oh, there you go. You're in there. Well, you're not my husband, but
yeah.
Put your head in it.
In the stocks.
Probably won't fit, your head's a bit big. Oh, that looks uncomfy.
Well,
Can't even put your head up.
It's not meant to be comfy. Well, that was actually really worthwhile coming to. Who would have thought pottery was actually so interesting? They've got heaps of cool stuff. They do cool basins. So if anyone wants a nice clay basin,
yeah,
they're really cool.
Pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea's got herself a little cup, but it's nicely wrapped. So we'll show you next time she's got it out.
Yeah, I'll put a photo up here so you can see it. But yeah, really pretty, affordable prices, and yeah, just a little family-run business.
Yeah, it's really nice out here. It's in Byfield. Like, the actual gardens around are really cool. It's just a really lovely area.
Oh, there's a snake in the middle of the crossing.
Cruising along.
Oh, it looks like a brown snake or something. I don't know if you can see it, but... Oh, right there. Oh yeah, it's a brown snake.
Is it?
I reckon.
Oh, it's got lots of nice spots and stuff on it.
I think that's water.
Oh, water, yeah.
Oh, lovely. They said that there's heaps of snakes out at the moment. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, keep going. You're all good. Hello, Mr. Snake. Yeah, he's been in the water.
I think that people behind us were like, what are you doing? Like, hurry up. But we couldn't really.
They'll see the snake. Well, welcome to Stoney Creek. There's a campground here and a rest area, so we're going to pull over for lunch, and hopefully we won't see any more snakes.
Nah, let's hope we see a couple more. They are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're cool if you're in the car, but that's about it. But heaps of people have been saying to us there's lots of snakes around. Even when we're at the pottery place just before, she said that there's a python that's cruising around, so watch out. There's a pub and a cafe in the town of Byfield up the road, but we've decided to pack our own lunch today, and we're a bit obsessed with guacamole at the moment and these corn chips from Coles. So I've made a massive guac, probably enough to feed a small Mexican village. Bryce loves his tzatziki, and I've got my goat's cheese spread. Yum! So you can actually swim in Stoney Creek, but it's a little bit overcast at the moment, so we're going to give it a miss. There are some kids though,
yeah,
brave
some
in the
people
cold.
are brave in the cold, but it's a little bit too cold for me today. So pretty excited, got something special planned for today. It's a beautiful day and we're going to be cooking some beef short ribs. It's the first time doing this, so hopefully it turns out pretty well. We're going to be doing it on the BBQ. Going to cook it for about 6 hours or so, hopefully, about 130, 150 degrees. When we try and cook anything really slow and low in the BBQ, it's quite difficult because it's lots of direct heat. So what we do is we put some alfoil underneath our little trivet just to make sure that the heat's coming from around the sides rather than straight up from the bottom, and then it doesn't crisp up the bottom and burn the bottom. We do this for a few things like scones or damper or whatever we cook in here, but yeah, it just gives for a bit better heat transmission around the top and evens it out. We just got this trivet from eBay. It's a stainless steel bottom and a stainless steel tray. You can get Weber ones, but they come with aluminium trays, which are just throwaway, whereas this one's a more permanent one. It needs a bit of cleaning, but it adds a little bit extra flavour. Yeah, it's got lots of holes in it just to direct the heat around and turns it more into a convection oven rather than just a hot box.
Some marbling in it.
Oh yeah, it's very nice. So just going to trim off a few of these harder bits of fat just to make sure they don't make the meat go too nasty, and we should be pretty good.
We choose to buy these rubs for the meat so we don't have to buy 50 million different spices. Just makes it a little bit easier, and yeah, it all comes in this tiny little pack, easy for the caravan. Otherwise we just have way too many spices in the cupboard. It's nearly 11:30, so I think it's time.
Ready to drop it on, I reckon. Let's go. There we go. See you in 6 hours.
Alright, now I haven't been able to look at this for the last couple of hours.
So we're going to open it up in a second, but first got a bit of an apple cider vinegar and water combination, so equal parts. Just keeps the meat really juicy and stops it from drying out too much. But here we go.
Oh my god. Yum. Ooh. Wow, that looks so good.
Really good. And as you can see, it's really risen a bit after it was packed away really tight in the vacuum seal. It's really rising up. Should be really good.
Doubled the size since we've taken it out of that vacuum pack.
So the aim for this is to get the internal temperature about 95 degrees. So just keep checking it throughout the day, and when it hits that 95 degrees, we'll wrap it up in some foil and let it rest. Close to 80, so we've still got a few hours to go yet to get that really nice and soft.
Is it feeling nice so far? Or?
It's still pretty tight. We want this thing falling apart. Oh, that's actually quite soft. But a little bit more, I reckon.
We're really treating ourselves today. We're making up some cocktails. So we've got Midori, and this is a coconut rum, just like a Malibu but a different brand. Pineapple juice and soda water.
And in mine, I'm just topping it up with a little bit of vodka too.
Delish.
Needs more alcohol there, doesn't it?
No, not really.
Right, maybe mine does.
That looks so good. It's been 3 hours now.
Couple more to go, I reckon.
Them bones are just going to fall out.
Yeah, it's still a little bit tough. I mean, it's going quite nicely, but we just want a little bit more tenderness. And then we can let it rest for an hour and a half or so. It should be sweet.
It's been 4 hours of these beef ribs on the barbecue, and they smell amazing. And I think they're ready to be wrapped up. We're just checking the temperature.
They're pushing through like butter, which is fantastic.
Can I have a go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
So we'll wrap them up. We'll let them rest for probably hour and a half or so. And then hopefully these bones will just wiggle out. It'd be horrible if I dropped it now, wouldn't it?
Please don't drop it.
Hold that tray, babe, so it doesn't drop down.
Okay.
You can wrap them up, sit them in an esky and leave them for a few hours, but we're just going to put it where our grill is so it stays a nice temperature, and because we don't have an esky or a cooler to put it in, and hopefully in an hour and a half's time it'll be really good. They do tend to keep cooking. They will raise about 10 degrees over the next hour, and then they'll slowly start dropping off after that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, looking fantastic.
Oh yum.
Look at that. That looks fantastic. Oh, nearly had it.
It's really juicy.
Moment of the truth. Let's see if it was all worth it. All up, it was about 5 hours cook time, and then we let it rest for nearly an hour and a half, and we have nailed it.
Yum.
And you get these nice bits of bone to chew on. Since we put the solar panel on the roof, we've only ever had a PWM controller, and it was just whatever came with the solar panel. A Victron Energy Smart Solar Controller. So I'm going to chuck that in and replace the PWM controller that we got with the solar panel. But it is Bluetooth compatible. It's rated to 100 volts, so you can put house panels onto this controller, and it's a 20 amp charger. I didn't think we needed anything more than a 20 amp charger, because when we're off power, we don't really use a whole lot of power. It's just for pump, lights and TV. So we tend to not really go through too much power when we're free camping. So this is the old one. Did the job for a little while, but time for an upgrade. Alrighty, so a bit of story time. Recently we've had a few issues with our drain not draining correctly, and it's been driving me nuts, and I probably should have got down here earlier and pulled it apart to see what was wrong. And turns out the last plumber that, well, the plumber that did plumb up the van did a fantastic job of crushing the pipe and really doing quite an average job. As you can see, that's not very good for drainage. I'll just show you what I've done. This is the old pipe that used to hook onto here, and then it came across and went onto that crushed pipe. I've since cut it off, put an elbow on. I've got hose clamps to go on for this as well to make it all nice and tight. And I'm just going to slide over this PVC, and we've got ourselves a much better drain, full size, and no dodgy plumbing under here. Being a plumber, you sort of just, I probably should have done this a lot earlier. I do also have another problem, because Chelsea lost a scrunchie down the basin drain, and I actually spent a good 2 or 3 hours trying to fish that out, and it's still stuck in there. And that happened nearly a year ago, so yeah, I'm a bit slack when it comes to my own plumbing, but if anyone else has a job, I'll sort you out. So a little trick to get this pipe on, just get some tap lube, and it's got about 25 mil on there. Chuck a hose clamp on it, and we're good as gold. So this video has been lots of odd bits and pieces, and recently we've noticed the car's been starting like rubbish. So what we did is I took the car to Super Cheap Auto, and they'll do a battery test for you for free. So you just go in there, hit them up, ask them for a battery test, and I just found out that the battery needs replacing. So just another thing that has to be done on the road. We're just lucky that it's happened on the East Coast, where there's lots of Super Cheap Autos and Repcos and bits and pieces, rather than on the West Coast, where there really isn't as much stuff around. The car battery normally is about, well, it needs to be about 810 cranking amps, and it read about 540, so really not ideal. While we were over in the Blackdown tablelands, it really struggled starting in the mornings when it was cold, and geez, she rattled, so time to chuck a new one in. Cool, and there we have it, all finished and done. It's a bit of a mess, but that's going to DC chargers and spotlights and bits and pieces. So now we have it all done. Just a 10mm socket, 12mm socket, and swap the battery over. So it's a nice easy one if you're ever on the road and need to change your battery. Just take it to Super Cheap, get it tested, grab a new one. They normally got really good deals, and you're all sorted.
Every time Bryce enters the caravan, I swear he brings in like 4 or 5 flies with him. He's out doing some plumbing work, so maybe he's a little bit smelly and that's why they're following him. I've been chasing them around the caravan with this. So you press the button and it zaps them. But I cannot seem to catch them with it. Oh, here's one. Die. I'm sorry, but you should have stayed outside. Yes. Got another one. Alright, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to bring out the big guns. I have been avoiding using spray because I feel like if it kills flies, it's probably not that good for you to be like inhaling and digesting. Digesting the right word? I don't know. Where are you? After 9 awesome weeks in Yeppoon, we're thinking it's time to go. So in the next video, we will be heading further down south and checking out some more beautiful spots along the coast. Thanks for watching another video. We'll see you next time.